I did not sleep for about 4 years. And that really affected my sleep for a very long time after that. And so it was about 7 or 8 years that I struggled with sleepless nights. And now I'm able to sleep about, 7 hours a night uninterrupted. And so that's why I wanted to do this live stream today. If you're struggling with brachioradial pruritus, chronic pain, something that's keeping you up at night, or even struggling with anxiety, then this live stream is for you. And I also wanted to share really quick that I'm going to be offering a workshop next weekend on Saturday, the 25th. And that's going to be all about brachioradial pruritus and the exact steps that I took to heal my body, to get myself out of pain, and to calm the itch for good. So if you're interested in joining me live for that workshop, where you can also ask questions, talk to me live about what I did to heal from that condition, then I will put the link in the comments below. Or you can put a heart emoji and I will go ahead and reach out to you with more information on that. And by the way, I am Jenna. If you haven't met me yet, I am a pain relief coach and I help people that are struggling with chronic pain or injuries, conditions like brachioradial pruritus, get back to doing the things that they love to do. So let's dive into these 5 tips to sleep like a baby. So sleep is not just rest. It's when your body heals, right? It's when your body regenerates, it rewires the nervous system, and we really need to feel safe to sleep at night, right? And I used to actually dread sleeping because my body would feel exhausted, but my mind was wired and I was really anxious about sleeping. And back then I tried the medications, I tried all of the supplements, I tried everything that I could think of and nothing really worked. And it wasn't until I was truly able to recover from the anxiety of not sleeping that I was able to finally get some rest. And also what I did was change some of my daily habits so that I could really support that deep, restful sleep and teach my body how to sleep again so that it could just remember, oh yes, this is what we're designed to do. We're obviously designed to sleep, and we just have to allow the body to remember how to do that. So the number one thing is when we are stuck in a fight or flight state, then we just can't sleep, right? Because our body is on the lookout for threat. And that is not the time when we're going to be able to get that deep, restful sleep. And so that would be the number one thing that we want to do, is to down-regulate the system somehow. So that we can teach the body, okay, it's safe, we're safe, and it's okay to rest. So my number one tip is to calm the nervous system, creating that safety in your body through some type of practice before you go to sleep, so that your brain knows, okay, it's all right, it's safe to rest. And I can go into that deep sleep and not be concerned about a threat in my environment. So anxiety is the number one reason why people have a hard time sleeping. And it might just be that your mind doesn't turn off because you have so many things going on in your life that when you lay down and rest, then that's when your mind is processing all of it. So if that's the case for you, I would suggest just doing a very quick journaling practice before you go to sleep. So it doesn't have to be an hour-long practice. It can just be sitting down for a few minutes and writing down whatever's in your mind, just getting it out of the mind and putting it down on paper. One thing that I like to do is create a to-do list, and I wouldn't suggest doing this right before you go to sleep because then your mind's going to be thinking about all those things you have to do tomorrow, but maybe do it an hour before you go to bed. Make sure that you write everything down so then you just don't have to worry about it. You can take it out of your mind. You know that it's going to be there for you tomorrow. You can look at it tomorrow and get all of those things done, but you don't have to think about them when you're trying to go to sleep. But if you're still feeling anxious when you're laying down in bed and you're really having a hard time at sleeping, then what I would suggest doing is, before you go to bed, doing a few deep breaths. So you can do this sitting down, meditating. You can even do it lying in bed before you go to sleep, but doing some deep belly breaths to relax your nervous system. And again, to show the body, okay, this is time to rest. And when we do deep breathing, the reason why that helps to down regulate the nervous system is because if there was a threat in our environment, say there was a tiger chasing us, we would not be able to sit down and take some deep breaths. And so when we do that deep breathing, it signals to the nervous system, okay, we are now safe. So let's just do that together for a moment, taking a big belly breath. You can breathe in through the nose. And just expand your belly like a big balloon. And as you exhale, just allow all the air out of the lungs. Big, deep belly breath, really expanding and opening up, not only through the front of the body, but try 360 degrees, breathing like you have an inner tube around your waist, and you're filling and expanding that inner tube. And then exhale all the air out. And you may notice as you're doing this, you're already feeling a little bit more relaxed. So that is one of the practices that you can try before you go to sleep, and experiment with what works for you. So for some people, maybe deep breathing isn't something that's going to really help them feel like they can down regulate and relax the nervous system. Maybe for you, you want to kind of do some shaking and just shake out any of that anxiety and stress that built up throughout the day and just let it go before you go to bed. So you can experiment with that. And I have more videos on different nervous system regulation practices that you could try on my YouTube channel. If you are interested in some more of those practices, then you can comment nervous system below and I will send you some of those videos. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. So number 2 has to do with what I was mentioning before, where we are recognizing that our body knows how to sleep. It knows how to do this. It can sleep. And this actually comes from cognitive behavioral therapy. So this is something I did try when I was really struggling with insomnia. And it's basically telling yourself, even though I feel like I'm not sleeping at all at night, I probably am sleeping. I probably actually am getting some rest. So one thing that I discovered in my research when I was struggling with insomnia is a lot of people feel like they're getting 1 hour of sleep or not sleeping at all throughout the night. But for most people, they actually are getting about 5 hours of sleep a night, even if you don't really feel like you're sleeping. And nowadays we have all of these ways to track our sleep, like the Oura Ring. Comment below if that's something that you've tried and what you have learned about your sleep. But it can be really helpful to kind of remind ourselves that I am actually sleeping. I will be okay. Like, even though it feels like I might die, I will survive this, and I will be able to eventually get rest. And so it's kind of reminding ourselves that no matter what, we're going to be okay, which could help to alleviate some of that anxiety that you feel about not getting sleep. Because that was the thing for me. I would wake up in the middle of the night with that burning, itching nerve pain in my arms, which makes it really hard to sleep. And then even when I did not have those symptoms any longer, I still would be afraid of not sleeping, right? And so that anxiety would become a loop. And then I would just keep looping and looping like that. So try that out and see how that works for you. It's a little bit of that cognitive behavioral therapy of just reminding yourself that you're going to be okay. You probably are actually getting enough rest for, your body to be able to, at least do some level of regeneration and healing and restore your system at night, and that you'll be okay. So number 3 is your sleep hygiene. And you may have already tried this before, so I'll give you some tips on how you can improve your sleep hygiene. And I think that even if you're not really struggling with insomnia, everyone can improve their sleep hygiene to get that, more restful, deep sleep. And of course, the number one thing is to minimize the devices at night and to try to not look at a screen at least an hour before you go to bed. So there are some apps that you can put on your computer or on your phone that will also minimize the blue light. So blue light keeps us awake, and more amber colored light can help us to feel like we're able to relax a little bit more, and it helps our system, again, to down regulate so that then we can sleep. The blue light is in most LED lights nowadays, so I kind of took this to the extreme when I was struggling with insomnia, where I started wearing blue light blocking glasses, and then I sort of realized that wasn't very necessary because I could just turn the lights down in the house. But all of these habits really kind of help, again, to signal to our nervous system that, okay, now it's time to sleep. It's time to get some rest. So try not looking at a screen at all, especially if you're really struggling with insomnia, at least an hour before you go to bed. And if you're not able to do that, then try getting one of those filters on your device that helps to block out some of that blue light. Another thing I would suggest is trying to go to bed every single night. So when I had insomnia, even if I went out to a concert to go hang out with some friends, I would come home every single time at the same time every single night, so that I made sure that I just set up that regular routine, because our system does kind of work like a clock. And if we can have a predictable bedtime, then that can really help to support our sleep, because our body knows, okay, now it's 10 o'clock, now it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to start to kind of shut down these various systems so that now I can go to sleep. Another thing that really helped me when I was struggling with insomnia was to not get up and look at a clock. Somebody had suggested that somewhere along the line, to not look at a clock when I would, get up. So one thing that people will do is they can't sleep, so they're laying in bed, so they get up, right? Try to do something else, move the body, and then they're looking at the clock and obsessing, right? About, okay, now it's 3 o'clock. I still haven't slept. I have to wake up at 6. I have to go to work. Now I only have 3 hours, and now I'm not going to get enough sleep. So that kind of adds to that anxiety and that sort of obsession around not sleeping. So that's one thing that really helped me. Don't look at a clock. And for me, I actually would not get out of bed, because I would feel better knowing that at least I had laid down for a certain period of time, and my body at least got that rest of not moving and was able to do some level of healing, and that made me feel better. For other people, they feel like getting up and moving their body, doing something else, and then getting back in bed works for them. Experiment with it, see what works well for you. You might want to try getting up and journaling. Again, if your mind is just reeling and you're just not able to calm it down, maybe you do want to get up and write down some of those thoughts, write down whatever's going on. So there's no one size fits all. You really need to experiment with what works for you, because there's a different reason for everyone that you're not able to sleep, right? But these are just some suggestions of what I learned on my journey. So number 4 is being mindful about nutrition. So for me, I eliminated sugar completely, and I would minimize my caffeine, and I would not drink caffeine after 11 a.m. so that my body could know, okay, so now we're going to go for our day. It helps to reduce the cortisol, helps to reduce the adrenaline, because we get that surge when we drink caffeine. So that is a big one. And even if caffeine doesn't seem like it stimulates you or it's not a big deal for you, I would still try it because you really never know how it's actually affecting you until you try it. The other thing is eating before you go to bed. So this is one that, again, you're gonna have to experiment with it, see what works for you. If we eat right before we go to bed, then our body's focusing more on digestion and not sleep, and that's also going to elevate our cortisol. So I would not suggest eating right before bed, but I also would not suggest not eating hours and hours and hours before you go to bed. So I know intermittent fasting is really popular these days. A lot of people will stop eating at 6 and then maybe go to bed at 10 or 11. And so that's maybe 5 hours of having no food before you go to sleep. So whenever I do that, it makes it really hard for me to sleep personally. So what I found works the best is eating 3 hours before I go to sleep. So say I'm going to sleep at 11 p.m., then I'm gonna stop eating maybe by 8 p.m. or maybe 7:30 or something like that. But I found that if I'm too hungry before I go to bed, then I can't sleep. Or if I don't eat enough, then I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and be hungry, because when we're hungry, it basically, again, puts our nervous system into that survival mode where we think that we're starving. And so this can definitely affect your sleep. But again, experiment with it. I've talked to some people that said if they eat a really big meal and they go right to bed, it helps them sleep. I've talked to other people that said it helps them sleep if they don't even eat dinner. So again, everyone's going to be so different. But I think for what I've seen with most people is eating about 3 hours before you go to sleep, so you're not hungry, but your body has had the time to digest. And let me know if this is resonating with you and what has helped you. Have you found anything that works for you? Have you tried these tips that I'm talking about today? So number 5 is to move your body every day, to get exercise, which can be really hard if you're not sleeping, if you're struggling with insomnia. You might feel really weak or shaky. I know that happened for me. But even going on a walk, that can really help, again, to downregulate and relax the nervous system and just get the blood flowing, get the blood moving. Exercise doesn't just strengthen our muscles, it helps to regulate our circadian rhythms, and it can help to kind of release that built up tension that might keep you wired or, wound up. And like I said, gentle movement counts too. Pilates, yoga, walking, stretching, all of those things can be really good for that, okay? And especially to kind of move some, if you do drink caffeine when we exercise, that kind of helps to balance out those spikes we get with the cortisol and with the adrenaline. So that's what I have for you today. Try out those 5 tips and let me know how they work for you. And again, experiment with it and let me know in the comments below what you have discovered. Maybe there's something I didn't mention today that you think other people could benefit from, so you can pop that in the comments below. And I also wanted to mention again my live workshop, which is going to be next weekend, the 25th. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called Break Free from Brachioradial Pruritus, a holistic approach to calm the itch for good. So even if your main struggle is sleep or a nervous system imbalance, then you're going to learn the exact steps that I use to retrain my body for deep, restful sleep, but really what I did to eliminate the itching and the nerve pain. Because if that's something that's going on for you, if you can't sleep because of nerve pain, then the best thing to do would be to get to the source of that so that you no longer are suffering from that pain, so that then your body can truly heal. You can get that restful sleep at night, which just really makes life so much better, right? When we're able to get that restful sleep. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, then you can reserve your spot. I will put the link in the comments below. And even if you can't make it to the live workshop, then you can still watch the replay, and you'll get access to that replay pretty much forever. So as a recap, your body wants to sleep. So just remember, your body knows how to do it. It just needs that rhythm, that safety to be able to trust again that it can actually sleep. So try one or two of those tips even tonight, and tell me which one made the biggest difference for you. And if this was helpful, then maybe also share this with somebody who is struggling to sleep, because they may also need this message today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you